They laughed when they saw his gunsight was broken. 10 minutes later, 6 Messerschmitts were falling from the sky. April 14th, 1,944. 21,000 feet over the Ruhr Valley, Nazi Germany. The engines of the B-17 flying fortress drone like angry iron wasps, each vibration rattling through the aluminum skin. Wind howls past the fuselage. Somewhere inside the bomber's belly, cramped beneath the cockpit, a teenage gunner wipes condensation from his goggles and tries not to think about how thin the metal is between him and open sky. Private First Class Eddie Callahan, age 19, grips the handles of his twin .50 caliber Brownings and stares at a gunsight that doesn't work. The laughingstock of the crew. The crack runs straight through the reflector glass, spiderweb from a hard landing 2 nights earlier at Raththorpe Abbott's. The optical sight is useless now. No clear reticle, no calibrated lead. Just fractured glass bending the world into distorted angles. When Eddie reported it during pre-flight, the reaction had been immediate. Then keep your head down, the flight engineer had muttered. Kids shouldn't even be flying today, someone else said. Not unkindly, a navigator had laughed outright. You'll be firing blind. No replacement sights were available. The Luftwaffe wasn't waiting, so Eddie had climbed aboard anyway. Below him, Germany stretches out in gray, scars, rivers, rail yards, smoking factories. The bomber's stream ahead is tight, disciplined, dozens of fortresses holding formation. Somewhere beyond the clouds, flak batteries are already dialing in. Inside the aircraft, the crew goes quiet as the intercom crackles. Bandits expected near target, stay sharp. Eddie swallows. He's flown 8 missions. Enough to know that when German fighters come, they come fast. Messerschmitt BF 109 seconds. Sleek, yellow-nosed predators climbing hard from below. The broken sight reflects his own eye back at him. He switches it off. Without the glass, there's nothing but open space and instinct. The first flak bursts, bloom ahead, black flowers punching holes in the sky. The bomber shudders. Somewhere above, a gunner curses as shrapnel clangs off armor plate. Then the warning comes, sharp and sudden. Fighters! 6 o'clock low, multiple bogeys. Eddie snaps forward, straining against his harness. He sees them dark shapes climbing fast, wings flashing as they bank into the sun. The Messerschmitts spread out, disciplined, lethal, veteran pilots hunting heavy bombers. His intercom crackles again. Tail, you got him? The tail gunner opens fire. Tracers streak past, bright red threads vanishing into nothing. The fighters keep coming. Eddie feels his mouth go dry. His broken gun sight would have told him where to aim, how far ahead of the target to lead. Without it, every training manual says the same thing. You miss. But as the first 109 roars past the formation, Eddie notices something. The tracers. They arc. They fall. They don't go where the barrel points. They go where physics drags them. He watches one stream bend slightly downward, curving into empty sky just behind a diving fighter. Something clicks. Eddie remembers a conversation from gunnery school in Texas. An old sergeant, half drunk on bad coffee. Forget the sight sometimes, the sergeant had said. Watch your bullets, they'll tell you the truth. The next Messerschmitt lines up on the bomber below Eddie's position, cannons already flashing. Eddie doesn't aim at the fighter, he aims through it. He squeezes the trigger. The Brownings hammer his arms. The aircraft vibrates as red tracers pour into the sky, not at the nose of the fighter, but where Eddie feels it will be. The Messerschmitt flies straight into the stream. A wing shears off in a burst of flame. Jesus! Someone shouts over the intercom. The fighter tumbles away, trailing smoke, vanishing into cloud. Eddie doesn't celebrate, because the others are already coming. 2 more 109 seconds roll in from opposite sides, crossing fire. The bomber ahead explodes a sudden blossom of fire and aluminum, crew lost in an instant. The shockwave slams Eddie against his harness. He tracks the left fighter by instinct, now ignoring range, ignoring manuals. He fires short bursts, walking the tracers like stepping stones across the sky. The Messerschmitt breaks too late. It erupts in sparks, engine coughing black smoke before spiraling down. Silence hangs for half a second, then the intercom erupts. Ball turret, You see that? Holy hell, kid. He's on fire! You got him! Eddie doesn't answer. His hands are shaking. His arms ache. His heart is pounding so hard it feels like it might tear loose. Another shadow crosses the sun. Another Messerschmitt dives. This one is smarter. This one is aiming for Eddie. The fighter lines up directly on the ball turret, cannons flashing white. Tracers tear past the plexiglass. Close enough to hear, Eddie meets its charge head on. He fires without thinking, without sight, without fear. Only motion, only timing, only survival. 6 kills in 13 minutes. The Messerschmitt grows fast in Eddie Callahan's vision, a steel spear rushing straight for the ball turret. Its nose flashes again. Cannon rounds slam into the bomber's belly with a deafening metallic scream. Plexiglass fractures. Wind howls in through hairline cracks. This is the moment every gunner dreads. Eddie doesn't pull away. He leans into the attack. He fires low, deliberately watching the tracers fall, then lifts the barrels a fraction, guiding the stream upward as if he's tossing the bullets ahead of the fighter. The Messerschmitt pilot commits. Too late, he realizes the mistake. The fighter flies into the converging arc. Rounds rip through the cockpit. The canopy bursts outward in a white flash. The aircraft snaps sideways, then cartwheels past the ball turret so close, Eddie sees the pilot's goggles for a split second, wide-eyed, shocked before the fighter disintegrates against its own engine fire. Eddie exhales, a raw, broken sound. That's 3, the tail gunner says quietly over the intercom. 3 German fighters down, and the engagement has barely begun. The Luftwaffe pilots adjust tactics immediately. No more straight dives. They come in pairs now, slashing passes from high angles, firing rockets, breaking away before the gunners can track them. The sky becomes chaos. Bombers peel out of formation, some trailing smoke, some already burning. Parachutes blossom far below. Flak continues to hammer upward, indifferent to friend or foe. Inside the fortress, Eddie's world shrinks to angles, speed, and falling tracers. Another 109 flashes beneath him, pulling into a climb. Eddie doesn't chase the aircraft, he chases the path. He fires ahead of the climb, not where the fighter is, but where gravity will pull his rounds. The Messerschmitt rolls directly into it. The engine erupts in orange flame. That's 4, someone whispers. By now, the laughter from pre-flight is gone. No one jokes, no one doubts. The intercom crackles with urgency. Ball turret, you're saving our asses down there. Eddie barely hears it. Sweat runs into his eyes. His arms feel like lead. The Brownings are hot enough to shimmer the air. He switches barrels, muscle memory taking over as another fighter breaks through the defensive fire. This one attacks from dead below the classic blind spot. Eddie rotates the turret, feeling the strain as hydraulics groan. He can't see the fighter clearly, only flashes of wing and shadow. He fires anyway. Short bursts. Adjust, watch the fall, adjust again. The Messerschmitt hesitates just a fraction, and that hesitation kills it. The tracers walk up the fuselage, tearing through fuel lines. The fighter blossoms into flame, tumbling end over end. 5. The navigator breathes. The formation is breaking away now. Bombs have already fallen. The mission is turning for home, battered and bleeding. The surviving German fighters make one last desperate push. The 6th Messerschmitt comes in fast, reckless, pilot desperate to score before fuel or ammunition runs out. It lines up on a wounded bomber lagging behind Eddie's fortress. Eddie sees the attack forming before anyone else does. He rotates, ignoring the pain in his shoulders, and fires at extreme range farther than doctrine allows. The tracers arc, falling uselessly at first. Then he corrects. He lifts the barrels by instinct alone. The bullets arrive just as the fighter crosses their path. The Messerschmitt disintegrates midair, wings snapping free, fuselage splitting, debris scattering like confetti across the sky. The radio goes silent, then erupts. 6 fighters down. Ball turret just wiped them out? Control. This is Fortress Charlie 3-ball turret gunner, has 6 confirmed kills. Eddie slumps forward, forehead touching the cold metal of the turret frame. His hands won't stop shaking. His ears ring. The sky outside is suddenly empty. The rest of the flight home passes in a daze. When the Fortress finally lands back in England, ground crews stare up at the ball turret in disbelief. 6 swastika kill marks are chalked beneath the plexiglass before Eddie even climbs out. Later, in the debriefing room, a senior intelligence officer listens carefully as Eddie explains what he did, how he turned off the broken sight, how he watched the tracers instead. The officer nods slowly. "You weren't blind," he says. "You were seeing something most men ignore." Word spreads fast. Within weeks, gunnery instructors begin teaching what Eddie learned the hard way: intuitive tracer tracking, using bullet fall and motion instead of fixed optics. Not as a replacement for equipment, but as a last resort skill when technology fails. Eddie Callahan finishes the war with more missions, more scars, and no illusions about heroism.